Well, this week's feature artist, another one that went from our Discover segment to the chart. And I want to check their song out here in a little bit. It's called Sooner or Later, and you will hear it. We're going to first get to know a little about the band Stealing Handshakes. Nolan is with me right now, and we're going to get into what this band is all about. First of all, how are you, man? You're out in the nice sunshine.
Oh, doing well. I figured might as well sit out back while we're talking. So,
Sit out back. I hear the birds chirping.
oh,
It's a nice little setting, dude. Uh, you guys are out of Texas, right?
we are, yes.
Okay, exactly whereabouts? Where do you work out of? Let's put it that way.
So we're from Pampa. Three out of the four of us are from Pampa, Texas, and that's with a P, not a T. A
Okay.
lot of people confuse that. So it's about an hour away from Amarillo. Lead player though is in Amarillo.
Okay. All right. So let's just, a lot of times I like to go with the biggest place that's near where the band is from because a lot of people are like, oh, Pampa? Where's Pampa? But okay, out of near Amarillo, Texas. And
Yep.
what year did you guys get together?
Honestly, I think it was during COVID is when we started to jam.
Oh,
So we didn't really officially start taking it seriously until a little bit after COVID because COVID had threw a towel over everything.
that was a complete wet blanket. How did that work? How did you said you started jamming during COVID? Did you guys just decide, hey, the hell with it, and we're gonna do this anyway? If we get sick, we get sick. What was the deal?
So me and our bass player Ryan had been in a band previously called City Will Shake, and we had split up. The singer had reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, let's final show, it's like just a reunion show. I'm about to move off, and I'd like to play one more time with you guys." And me and Ryan were all about it, so we went and played the show. And the band that had opened up for us just so happened to have Daniel, which is our current drummer, and Rylan, which is our that was our first lead player. So we played the show. It was a great turnout. It was funny. The bar we played at, we went over capacity
Oh
because I guess
wow.
people were excited to see us. So we went over capacity. Fire marshal shut it down, and that bar got shut down for like closed for like 2 or 3 weeks after that because they let us play there. A funny story for us, terrible story for them. Uh, but then after the show, Rylan and Daniel, again, Rylan was our first lead player, Daniel's a drummer. They reached out and just wanted to see if we wanted to play some music. So me and Ryan went over there because me and Ryan have always been a package deal. Him and I have been friends since high school. So I went over there, started playing music, and we clicked and started making it a twice a week thing, and the rest is history.
And then, okay, one thing I want to quell. First of all, that story about being over capacity at the bar, like from the
Yeah.
go, that is a good story, man. That's a good situation to happen.
Oh yeah.
And you said they were shut down for a couple weeks after that. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, did they have some issues before where they were over capacity and they're finally like, hey, you guys we're going to give you a slap on the wrist a couple times, but man, you're shut down for a while.
I don't know. I don't know that answer. I My ego tells me, oh, that was all us, but they probably had a slap on the wrist a couple of times for it to be like, all right, we got to shut you guys down.
That, but that is a good problem to have from the get-go.
Oh,
That shows you something is in the works. And one thing I want to quell right away is okay, this is the feeling I get. And if I'm off base, you tell me. But I'm hearing a lot of stuff about you are a 90s alternative rock band. And you guys are more than that. I hear more. You're from a bunch of different influences, aren't you?
absolutely. 90s alternative is probably one that all four of us agree on. And
Okay.
and by alternative, we're lumping a lot of 90s together, like grunge, alternative, even some like 90s like metal, stuff like that. Besides that, we listen to heavier stuff than what we write, which is just odd to me. I don't know if that's a common thing, but we all listen to a lot heavier stuff than what we write. Like myself, my favorite band is Emery, which is they're like an emo band. I'm not sure who Emery is, but they're
Yep.
emo band, post hardcore, 70% singing, 30% screaming thing. Daniel, his I think his biggest influence would probably be with the exception of like John Bonham, his biggest influence would probably be Foo Fighters.
Okay.
And then our bass player Ryan and Jared both just love Metallica. I'd say
All
those are
right.
their probably bigger influences.
That was okay. And so you are a band that can stretch yourself into corners that pretty much everyone can appreciate.
We try to. We try to. There's some moments where we're like, man, is this out of our genre, out of our sound? And we end up finishing the song and playing it, and people tend to like the stuff, whether it's a little left of center or right of center from what we're normally playing. But we try to not get pigeonholed. We try to not be stuck in a certain genre, like be typecast, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Well, that's one thing that always bothers me, like, because everybody wants to compare bands to bands. This band sounds like this band sounds like this band, and then also put bands in a box. And don't do that because if you box in a band and they're only successful in that box that you have put them in, you're gonna get tired of them, man. Next thing you're gonna have somebody like Nickelback or something that does the same thing over and over again, and you end up hating them. Don't
Yeah,
do that to your bands, man. So do you feel in talking about that, your fans let you guys stretch and let you do what you want to do?
I'd say probably the biggest example of that, we released The Fallout, which is on the EP. We released that as a single, and that was definitely different from our first two songs, Ellipses and Chloroform, that we had released previously.
Okay.
And it dove into a little bit heavier. It wasn't heavy by any means, but it definitely was off of our norm from what was on streaming platforms. And everybody loved it. We got such positive feedback from that and from people that we hadn't expected to get it from. So
That's a good thing to have happen where you don't expect it and bang, it pops.
yeah,
And talking about that, like, let's take a step back too. When you guys got together and talking about when something happens like that, every band has a moment when they're like, this is going to work. This is going to actually become a thing. Do you have that moment that you can pinpoint?
we probably have a couple of those, and I'm sure all of us have different moments where it clicked with us, like with us individually. I would say so. When we had first gotten together, we were playing a couple of originals, just to try to write some new stuff. We'd play some covers just to get a feel for each other, get some comfort and some what's the word I'm looking for? Some chemistry with one another. Some of the two covers we played the most at the very beginning. One was Tyler by the Toadies, and we loved that one. That was just I think the first song we all played together. Period.
Okay.
And Lover Come Back by City and Color. Of all bands, that was the other cover that we did, and that I would play the acoustic, and they would stay on their instruments, and those really came together so easily and seamlessly. And then when we finally finished our first song, which is one that it's unreleased, it's one that we're tweaking a little bit, but when we had finished that song and played that song live, I would say one of those three songs, it clicked somewhere in like those two practices where we really got those three songs down that it felt right.
So
Felt easy.
you've had multiples then. That's cool. Shows that there's more in store for you guys that is really going to be awesome, man. Let's get to your tune sooner or later. So
Okay.
this, you're ready to break into the 20s. And I'm looking forward to this. You're ready to break into the 20s. You're going to be in our bubble zone real soon. People will be able to vote on the tune, get your listener bonus, and push you onto our countdown as soon as possible. Where did sooner or later come from for you guys?
So it started off as a just a funky bass line that Ryan had wrote and brought it to practice one day. And it was one that we had jammed with mine and Ryan's previous band. He had played it, and we do try to do something with it there, but it really didn't take off or didn't grow wings until we stripped it down and started over with Stealing Handshakes. And he brought that bass line in. And what we did, I didn't want to add any influence from how we were messing with it before. So I stepped away,
Okay.
let our lead player at the time figure out what he wanted to play on guitar. I let Daniel figure out the drums because me and Ryan had been playing it a little bit. messing with it, not really having a finished product previously. Uh, so I stepped away. I wrote my part last, which is different than how I usually write things. But I stepped away because I didn't want to pull it back to what we had been playing. I wanted to see what the other guys would add to it. So our lead player at that time was JC, and he wrote the guitar for it, wrote the lead part. And after that, after he had wrote the lead part and Daniel had gotten his drum part and we'd got the structure down, then I came in with my rhythm and went from there. And it is vastly different than what it was previously. And honestly, I'm way better. So that formula worked great on that one.
Well, that's cool, man. Now, all began with a bass line. Now, is how do you normally go about writing your tunes? What do you normally start with?
It all depends. It depends on what practice we're having because most of the time we write a new song when we're not supposed to. We write a new song when we get to
Oh,
practice. We have a show coming up, and we're all just noodling, and we're like, hold on a sec, hold on, let's Daniel play that again, and then I'll play something to what he was drumming, or Ryan will come over the bass line. But either way, one of us will bring a riff or just an idea, and we expand on it. We get the basic structure of the song down first, and then after that, we record it, and I'll basically drive around town with it blasting in my stereo, and I'll write the melody and the lyrics to it with it just blasting in my car, and I'll write it that way. The lyrics and the melodies, at least.
that's yeah. Okay. Oh, one of my favorite movies, there's a scene in there where the guy is like, okay, if this passes the drive test, we have a hit. And they put in the car and they just go around jamming to their song all the way. That's the vibe I get from this.
Yeah,
You listen to it in your car and do you feel you get the best lyrics that way?
I think so because you're not. I'll probably use this word a lot, but you're not influenced by things around you at that point. You're driving around. You're basically just focusing on the road and what you're listening to. So at that point, you let your mind unwind and not let your day affect how you're writing it, and just feel what the music is, where it's pulling you.
Every time I hear one of your tunes, I'm gonna think of you driving around writing in the lyrics to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's move into studio talk a little bit. Uh, I guess, what is your favorite setup as far as putting a song together? Are you guys like the old school, like everybody in the same room doing stuff together, or do you like to track your things separately?
So with this EP, we recorded our demos ourselves and we sent them off to a studio in Longview at that point. We would record it as a full band, and then we would do punch
Okay.
ins for, I don't know, a shaker or doing like a tambourine here and there, or not punch me in for harmonies, that thing, or guitar layering. But that's how we would do the demo to send to the studio. Now, when we had gotten to the studio, we would send it early, weeks in advance, so they'd have an idea of what we're looking for and what the song's going to be like. So when we got there, they had an idea and some ideas as well, because we're open to suggestions and everything really. But at that point, we would then track each instrument one at a time, but we'd all be in the same room together. So funny enough, we recorded 3 of the songs in one day. We recorded, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, but I think it was Chloroform, Maybe It's All Right, and Sooner or Later. We recorded all of those 3 in one day, and that was all the parts, all the vocals, drums, guitars, all the layering. We did all of that in one day. We had gotten there at like 9 in the morning and didn't leave until 11, and then drove back that night. But
And
by
then
the end of the
drove.
day, oh, we started driving back. By the end of the day, I'm surprised you couldn't hear this, and maybe you could if you took some of the layers out. But JC, our lead player at the time, was snoring in the studio while I was doing the vocal takes, because that was the last thing we did were vocals. Uh, and we were recording vocals while he was snoring, so we had to make sure that his snoring wasn't picked up by that. And I would do my normal takes and then the harmonies. And then at one point, one of the times we were going to record the Fallout, and it does have some screams in it. We had never done that before. Everyone was asleep except for me doing vocals. So I wake Daniel up like, "Hey, are we doing screams on this song?" He's like, "We should." I'm like, "All right, well, who's gonna do them?" and we just got silent. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing them. So we spent the next 30 minutes me figuring out the screams for it. And the
So
first take on the screams, I wish I had them because they were hilarious. They were awful, just terrible. But I found the groove we needed to do with it. But the first screams on it were comical. But now they sound great. That's one of our favorite things on that song, are the background screams and the, I don't know, just all the layers of the vocals on it.
stuff like that would be fun to have like later on down the road after everybody
Oh,
knows who the hell you are and stuff. Like you're actually a big band, have these outtakes from the studio,
oh
the guy
yeah.
snoring in the background while you're trying to do vocals.
Uh, I don't know if it felt like I was a kid screaming that's in the middle of going through puberty. It wasn't fitting right. The first couple of takes just was not fitting right.
That's funny. But hey, you had never done them before, right?
Correct. I'd done them in the car, but I'd never done them on a recording or anything. And everyone sounds better in your car, just like you sound better in the shower.
That's
So,
the exactly it. So like in your house, you're a freaking rock star. In
oh
the
yeah.
studio where you have to be a rock star, you're a little hesitant sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
That's because you worry about what you're doing. It's not like you're a audience of one, I guess.
There's
You
a
don't just
magnifying
have your,
glass put on you at that
yeah,
point.
you don't just have yourself to impress. What are we looking at for tours and live shows coming up? When can people get out and see you guys?
So we're working on a tour right now. That's in the works. Can't announce anything on that quite yet, but a tour is coming. The next few things we have a benefit that we're playing here in Pampa for for firefighters. There's been some wildfires in the area, and it's like a barbecue cook-off that they're having at this venue out here that they asked us to join them on. So we're going to be donating our time for that, playing, hopefully helping raise some money for the firefighters and for the families that lost houses and things like that. Beyond that, we'll be playing at what's called Pampa Fest, which is, even though Pampa is a smaller town, it's a pretty big concert, pretty big festival. There's food
Okay.
trucks, there's a bunch of musicians, a bunch of artists, vendors. This year, it's going to be Stony LaRue that's going to be headlining it, which is, this will be our second time playing with him, which is odd because Stoney's country. I mean, wonderful musician, great person. Like, he's such a nice guy, but it's country, so it doesn't necessarily fit within our genre. But I don't know, we're excited about it. And again, this is our second time playing with him, so obviously it fits well enough.
Okay,
And
is
then
it is this like a multi-genre festival that they put
I,
on?
sup-
Is it
I suppose so. There's some acoustic artists. Really, mainly they all lean towards country, I would say. We're going to be the only rock act there.
Oh, okay. So this is the only now I was going to be a jackass and say this is the only reason to go there. I'm sure I'm one of those people where I appreciate pretty much all music. So well, like if it's outside the rock genre, I'm still gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time the musicians put into their craft.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
of course, rock is my favorite. So like
Yeah.
I'll just go there to see you guys.
Same here. I think that goes for all of us in the band. We all lean towards rock, but at least for myself, when it comes to country, if it's newer country, I'm not big on it. I'll give any music a chance. But really, if it's like 90s country, I love it. But I grew up listening to that. Even though my mom was from New York, she would play nothing but country all the time. So I grew up listening to 90s country. So I have an appreciation for that as well. And my dad would listen to rap, 90s rap of all things. So
Oh,
I've grown an appreciation for genres because of that. And I don't know.
okay. All right. Well, I guess you're from a musical family, aren't you? Then.
I am, yes, at least a music loving family. None of my family members prior to myself played any music. My mom would sing, and she's a wonderful singer. She wouldn't like me telling everybody that, but she's a wonderful singer. But my older brother, honestly, was the first one to pick up an instrument. He played bass, and that's actually what I started off on too, because he played bass and it was at the house. So I figured might as well pick it up, and picked it up and started playing it, and eventually wanted to go to guitar and went from there. Now my older brother doesn't play music anymore. He's got a family and he's doing the family life. My younger brother, however, does music, but it's more electronic stuff. So even
Okay.
though he's still in the music scene, it's vastly different from what I do.
So, you basically have a bunch of stuff covered across your family. That's a cool thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you can appreciate so much more that way. And your family members, you're so close to them that exactly what it takes for them to do. Like you were talking about your brother doing the electronic stuff, his what it takes to program that crap. That's
Oh,
work.
absolutely.
That's talent.
Absolutely.
So when I hear people say that's it's cheating, using computers is cheating and stuff like, no, it's not, man. That's serious shit. As far as
Oh,
I'm
it's
concerned,
tough.
that's that it is. That programming is no joke, man. Uh, Nolan, it has been so awesome to talk to you. I want to shut up and play sooner or later for people. I do want to
All
let
right.
people know that your website, stealinghandshakes.com,
Yes,
is
sir.
the website. And tell you what, if you just do an internet search, Stealing Handshakes Band, so much stuff is going to come up. But stealinghandshakes.com, you can get there. You can get to like all their socials, info on the band. That's basically your hub. But like I said, man, they're all over the place. It's reviews on music and stuff, and you're gonna fall down a rabbit hole and fall in love with these guys just like I did. So, dude,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it. You're welcome back here at Real Rock Nights anytime.